Hey guys, Jason the X here, and welcome to the second part of our Road to E3 discussion, where we discuss what we hope we're going to see. I hope you guys enjoyed.
The first one, and this one is near and dear to my heart, Final Fantasy. I have been a Final Fantasy fan since the day I could pick up a controller. And I desperately want to see a Final Fantasy game that lives up to the hype of my favorite ones of 7, 8, 10, and even the older ones that were amazing. Because ever since then, they haven't really come out with one that has really captivated an audience. So I want to see Final Fantasy 15. I want to see Square Enix come out and give us a release date and a quality game that I would be willing to just, bet the farm on.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. I'm sure we'll see something Final Fantasy 15 related. Like we got the demo earlier this year.
Demo is so.
This game has been in development for what, almost a decade now?
Yeah, a little bit over a decade.
And it's like, at this point, it feels like a release date is a fantasy. Like, I put it on our wish list for a reason, because I don't know that they're going to give us one. Like, I really hope so. I sincerely hope so. And I wouldn't be entirely surprised if they did. But at this point, I'm almost half expecting a really awesome new trailer, some more details, and then a vague release window. Like, we're going to release it within this time frame, but not a hard set release date. But I'm really crossing my fingers that we get one.
I'm really hoping so too. And we were talking about how BioWare and EA, they are the masters at building an amazing trailer. That's the same thing with Square Enix.
That's very true.
And Final Fantasy, they've always pushed the boundaries and made a trailer that really just, stops the breathing, so to speak. So I want something that gives us more quality, something that's firmer than just a trailer, that I hope they show us some more gameplay of it. But as you're saying, I doubt we're going to see anything too detailed, but I do really hope that they give us some information on it. Well, another one that's on the wish list would have to be Battletoads Revival.
Yeah. Microsoft has been dropping hints about Battletoads for a while now. A lot of hints about Battletoads and sneaking them into different games on their consoles, little Easter eggs here and there. And, I think Jason, we were talking about this earlier, is that we're expecting Rare to show something at E3. And, we don't know what it is. And for me, my wish list is I want to see Battletoads, mostly because I'm a big retro gamer. I grew up with Battletoads. Even my fiance loves Battletoads. Everybody freaking loves Battletoads. It's time for more Battletoads.
It's almost surprising they have not gone back to the well on this series by now. There's been a huge fan outcry for it, and it was an enjoyable series. What's the deal? Why have we not seen anything from Battletoads?
I don't know.
They didn't know what to do with it. I'm guaranteeing you that's what it is. You're starting to see a little more activity from Rare. Everything from the Conquer on Project Spark and a few other things. So I'm hoping they're kind of reviving them to do that. I guess we saw my Killer Instinct as well then. So the other thing is too, I think, because the old school gamers, because Battletoads is a hard game.
There were parts of Battletoads that were hard.
So I'm kind of curious to see, are they going to do it a little bit easier? Are they going to do this or that? Battletoads is something I'm actually very curious about.
Microsoft has to fill time with their press conference, so maybe there will be something in there. Well, one thing that we're really hoping isn't going to die, because I know we're all just really pumped for this one, Kingdom Hearts 3. That's one that we haven't seen anything in quite a while. We know they're still working on it. We've seen maybe one or two trailers here and there, but we haven't yet had a firm release date. So that's one of the things that I know that we're pretty, hoping that that's going to be at E3.
I think we get a window.
Do what?
I think we get a window for it this year, of a release date.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've got the Star Fox effect, where, you've got to show something to be a big headliner, and Kingdom Hearts is going to be that thing.
But, because Kingdom Hearts 3, is also being, it's also Square Enix. So Square Enix can always use Final Fantasy 15 as their big thing. And I'm willing to bet we'll get Final Fantasy 15 release date before we do Kingdom Hearts 3. But
okay,
God, too long though.
I can make one. I want to make one small tiny prediction about Kingdom Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna show whatever they're gonna show for Final Fantasy, all that kind of stuff. They're gonna show a little bit of Kingdom Hearts, and the very end you're gonna hear a for Darth Vader. I guarantee you.
And,
oh yeah.
And then we'll see Sora, and Goofy will be over his shoulder, and he'll say, "Goofy, we're home." Gosh, Sora.
No, dude.
People will go nuts.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? If they did Kingdom Hearts on the Death Star, I would lose it.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's one of my favorite games. I would go crazy for Kingdom Hearts. So
if they're in a gummy ship and they're flying around and they're passing a moon and they're like, "Oh no, we're getting pulled into that moon. That's no moon. I'm gonna lose it."
Yep. Again, I'll just write them a blank check.
Yes.
As money goes flying at the stage like a strip show or something.
Oh, yeah.
A bunch of nerds make it rain.
Yes, Eric and Matt will make it rain at the Square Enix event.
I am a little nervous, though, that we're going to get a little oversaturated with Star Wars stuff. Just a little bit.
You can shut your dirty mouth right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
what is this oversaturation thing?
I don't want crappy Star Wars games. I want good Star Wars games. So, I mean, if, I don't want another Connect Star Wars or,
oh, God.
All right. Well, Star Wars we can talk about on another day. But, Eric, I'm going to give you the floor because I know we've already talked about this, or at least you have a little bit. Wouldn't you love to see a new Metroid game?
I would love a Metroid. With Metroid would be awesome. Yeah, I just you just made me. Yeah, I just nerdgasmed right now. After Other M, we need something to cleanse the Metroid palette because that was pretty rough. And I don't think the guys over at Retro are doing much of anything right now. So I would like them to just give it back to them, please.
Yeah, it's about time to hear something on Metroid.
Yeah.
Or from that developer in general. I mean...
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from them.
We've had two new Donkey Kongs. We've had one of those even ported to the 3DS. We've had, we're getting a new Star Fox and all that stuff. It's like, well, what about Metroid?
This isn't like some little property from Nintendo. This is one of their heavy hitters. This is one of your franchise players.
At least port something over to the 3DS. Like they could port the frickin' the Prime stuff over to the 3DS.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, I think that would be good, and I hope that that's part of my biggest fear is that they're gonna come on stage, they're gonna show a Metroid logo and be like, "All right, you can look for it in 3D later this year," and it's like, well, that's not what I want. I don't want a port. I want something new.
See, that's the thing is I disagree with you, Eric, because I don't want to see it on the 3DS because I know that a lot of people have a 3DS, but I'm one of those that doesn't. And I want to see a console game come out of this. And it's like Jason said, give me another reason to go buy a Wii U.
I will take...
the sales aren't necessarily booming for Wii U right now. So that would be huge if they actually came out with a Metroid console game.
And not that they're going to go, oh, we're watching this, but we do know that they've announced, hey, we have another console coming in the next, year and a half.
Yeah.
So you wonder if they're going, well, Metroid might have been coming out, but you know what? Guess what? No, I'll just push it to the next system.
That's true. They could save it for the opening of that new one.
Yeah, and which is totally fine. But again, I mean, even before they officially announced PS4 and Xbox One, we were seeing trailers for games clearly meant for those consoles.
Yeah.
Obviously. I mean, they weren't that generation, gameplay that we were seeing. Nintendo's finally making money again. We've all seen that press release. They're making money again, so they're doing okay. But their main home console needs a boost.
Well, the last thing that I want to talk about, or at least, get your opinions on, is I want each of us, as our closing farewell to this episode of our journey to E3, tell us what your personal favorite thing you want to see at E3. What do you personally want to see? And let's start with you, Jordan.
The next game from Sucker Punch. Next infamous game. That's how, Sucker Punch could obviously work on something else. I don't want them to. I want another Infamous game. I've really loved the Infamous series.
Me too.
The first two games on the PS3 are some of the best games for the PS3. And, Second Son came out as a launch title. And while some people had issues with it, I agree with some of those issues, it was still a really, really solid launch title and a good continuation of the series. And I really want to see what they do next. Now that they have a better grasp of the hardware. Hardware's been out for a little bit. They've got a good handle on it. They know what they can do with the story next. I want to see what happens.
Next up, how about we give the floor to Jason? What are you looking for?
Okay. I want to see Nintendo go ahead. I know we talked about this before we went on about they did do Bayonetta as an exclusive, and it was a mature title. Well, it's time, Nintendo. It's time for mature titles. I'm not saying that we have to have, Murder Game 2000. We don't need that. But enough of Nintendo white blood in Mortal Kombat crap. Just let's have some mature titles. There was one point that we had a Resident Evil game on GameCube. I seem to remember.
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would allow more properties and licenses to come to them. That's all. I'd like to see them go ahead and take this step.
Unfortunately, though, that's the only problem is some of the more harder toned games don't really sell very well on the system.
Yeah,
well,
that's
I think
true.
them accept it. And you know what? The one thing we have not discussed as far as E3 with the Nintendo here, they are the kings of portable gaming.
They are.
Yeah. We have discussed none of these titles possibly coming to the 3DS. They did just redo that system, the 3DS XL. So
Yeah.
I would buy a 3DS XL if Metroid came out there. I'm just throwing it out there.
That's true.
Or a new Star Fox game. There's still that, and we haven't really heard anything from them on that.
Now, while we are on the topic of handhelds, Eric, you want to see an update on another handheld.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Vita's dead on the water. The actual system itself. If you go to any retailer, the games have dropped down. I think the most expensive Vita game is like $20 now, and most retailers actually picked up about a stack of about 5 Vita games for $3 the other day at Target.
Wow.
The Vita TV, the PlayStation TV, is selling for $40 at GameStop right now.
Sure those aren't just coasters?
Yeah, I.
That's one expensive coaster, but yes, that's all it is.
Well, the thing is, if you actually put a Vita next to a 3DS, and I have both, and I love both, they both have games on them that I'm absolutely in love with, but if you put them next to each other, the Vita is far superior as far as technology goes to the 3DS. It's a beautiful OLED screen. It's just a great device, but it just never took off.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think, though, they can use that software, the hardware as well, to move that into something else.
I think for me, there's actually a couple things that I'm hoping for. Obviously, these are long shots. One more so than the other. The one that is a long shot that I think, because it has come out so recently, is I want to see a Destiny sequel. We've played Destiny enough to know that there are quite a lot of issues with it. And yeah, they did just come out with House of Wolves, and they're constantly updating it. And it's a really cool game. I love this game. But there's a lot of stuff in there that I just think that if they just scrap it, redo it, and just go ahead and start over, I think it'd be great. Like, for instance, a story would be amazing.
Well, a story that's more than like 2 hours long. Yes, I would agree with you on that.
And the other one would be, I want an update on the Morpheus project.
Yeah,
Because,
absolutely.
yeah, we've had, like, they've been trying for years to try and get some sort of other platform. The next one, they had the Kinect. That was supposed to be the next big thing, but that died. And now we're having, like, virtual reality goggles in the Morpheus, and I want to actually see some sort of update with that. Because that's kind of the next generation, in a way. If they can pull it off, that would be the next generation.
I'm actually curious in general, because we saw for a while there was a anti anything peripheral pretty much from people, like Guitar Hero died, Rock Band died, all that kind of stuff. And now we have the 8 billion Toy to Life games. We've got another Rock Band, another Guitar Hero, and now we've got Morpheus and whatever Facebook's going to do with Oculus Rift. I'm really curious to see what is going to happen. Also, I'm praying to God, like you were mentioning Morpheus, I'm praying to God we'll get a Rockman Morpheus combo.
That would be cool.
I'm taking off my shirt, doing, cocaine before I go on stage, that kind of stuff.
You are the rock star.
Yeah. This would be awesome. You have to perform without drugs and all that.
Perform stoned.
Yeah. With and without rehab.
Well, just think how cool it would be is if you looked down and you've still got the chords coming through and all the buttons you have to play, but you look down and you see yourself strumming the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
That right there would be amazing.
I'm excited. I really, and I know we're going to be able to play the Morpheus while we're there, so I'm really excited to be able to tell everybody.
Oh yeah, and E3 is going to be such a huge expo, and I don't know if we're going to be able to touch on everything, but I know that come hell or high water, we will be at every single table, we will be at every single event, we will try to just demo everything and relay all that information back to Cinelinx.com, where you can find all of our articles leading up to E3 and while we are there, as well as any other news, reviews, editorials, and more.
Absolutely.
And I also invite you guys to go check out our other Powered by Cinelinx shows like SCNS Live, which airs every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central. We also have the Father Gamer podcast, which you can get on iTunes, as well as you can check out on Cinelinx.com. And, any of our other ones like the Recap, which we do on a weekly basis, trailer breakdowns, we just do a whole lot of stuff. So you got to check it out. Always be on there. Make it a favorite. Tell your friends. Subscribe. Check it.